It dawned on me, actually. Did any of you guys get to watch the Stockholm DreamHack? Anybody see that one? Well, I did an interview couch there, and it was a very small couch, and I'm pleased to say that DreamHack has actually found an even smaller couch for me to sit on. So I promise you I haven't gotten any larger, it's just the chairs are getting smaller.
Well, right now we just saw the last game between Mana and Dimaga, and I have to say this is actually really a treat to watch it live here in Sweden. This is amazing. The micro of those two players is just incredible. Mana with all these force fields, he made a few mistakes, but when he trapped those banelings actually between the rocks with those two force fields, that was incredible. I was just blown away by his micro.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the micro, and I think one of the things you take away from that game was how severe Ling Bangling is. I mean, he made, I think, 9 correct choices, correct executions of said micro, but the one time he made a mistake, poof, there goes all his sentries, and all of a sudden, he's staring down 1,000 Zerglings.
You're perfectly right, and especially those Lings that ran into his main base, those were really, really dangerous. There were only a few of them, and they were able to take down like 7 probes, that's all there was to it. But just imagine if there would be like 15 of them, and suddenly he loses his high economy, he might even lose the Nexus, and the game might go a different way. But especially his choice to get the War Prism and once again the Templar Archive, when he realized that Dimaga this time was not going for the Roach strategy, but used Ling and Baneling, was so crucial in this game. The warp into the main base of Dimaga, this was something the Zerg just didn't have an answer to.
And I think that's one of the things that I want to just kind of grab onto right now. It's so amazing to have the composure to take the losses that he did, to do the defense that he did, but then to think, you know what, he's probably still stuck on tier 1. If I can get a few Zealots in his mineral line, I might be able to topple him over. And to be able to execute that, it's absolutely amazing. I really did think when those Banelings popped the sentries, it was game over, but Mana kept fighting on, and eventually, he's 2-0 now.
The multitasking of both of them was really, really incredible, as well as the micro. And now Mana is suddenly looking at the 2-0 against Dimaga in the Grand Final. He's 1 game away from taking the DreamHack ISO Open Grand Final. Apollo, DJV, what do you guys think about the game?
At all at that point, Kaldor, and in control. I mean, perfectly. There was some great moves there, some great force fields, some good flanks coming out from Dimaga, but Dimaga definitely sacrificed a lot in terms of economy and in terms of technology when he went for those massive attacks. We even saw him build those 2 Evo chambers. It wasn't until Zealots were completely ripping apart his drone line when he actually started those upgrades. Too little, too late. What I'd love to see is I just feel like maybe Dimaga's just holding back a little bit. He did go ultra aggressive there against that wall as a result of what he saw, and you called it, Apollo. You said that he feigned that aggression. He was waiting for it, he was gearing up for it, and as a result, when it didn't come, he said, well, I've got all this stuff, I need to do something with it.
Exactly, and he tried it, it didn't work, and well, he's currently 0-2 down. Something has to change here, otherwise it's going to be a whitewash final. Dimaga's got the experience, as we said, but now we actually, don't have to say that anymore. We have to see it actually come into play.
So we're going to get started here with the 3rd game. It looks like we're going to be on Daybreak, a very popular Zerg map in versus Protoss, and we're about ready to hop in. It's been an exciting finals here so far, but certainly some short games, and I'm sure that fans around the world are surprised not only to see these 2 players here, but also how quickly Mana has taken this 2-0 lead. I'm sure fans, especially Dimaga fans, are looking for now a couple games to have him bounce back. Now let's introduce our players in the southwest position. As the Red Zerg, he must win in order to stay alive, so make some noise for MTW Dimaga. And in the northeast position, as the Blue Protoss, looking at a possible victory with this game, it is Mao's Mana.
There's something we haven't really talked about, but we have to keep in consideration as well, is that they are playing for a difference of 5,000 euros between them. 1 map away from winning 10,000, and if he drops the next 3, he's down to 5,000. Even though losing this final, you still get 5,000. That's still a lot of money indeed, but of course they're aiming for the gold. Dimaga, I think his mindset for this game is get rid of that junk. It's time to play a more straight-up game. It's time to go back to the basics and just make sure that he scouts heavily, understands how Mana's been playing, because Mana has been changing the aggressive style up a little bit here. Game 1 was, you know, completely different to Game 2 with a little bit of a feint into something else. Dimaga, as long as, and I feel this, as long as he knows what he's playing against and he doesn't try aggressive mind game strategies, I think he could well pull this back.
Now, there is a disadvantage to that, and that is the fact that Mana, who is now up 2 games, he has the ability to play some mind games of his own. He could be ultra aggressive. He could throw out what we call cheese and go for some super early, hard to defend moves or strategies that might throw Dimaga off. And since Dimaga has to win this game, that burden is going to be on him to read better, to make proper decisions, to make sure he's reacting accordingly. And if that doesn't happen, then we could see Mana walk away with the DreamHack ISO Open Finals, the Grand Championship, in just 3 short games.
Exactly, and you know, Zerg players do look for information. Neither of them have any idea what the other player is doing. So when Dimaga does get a piece of information, that's where Mana can throw out false information and say, well, yeah, you see this. This is how you should react. This is how you should play to what I've shown you, and then do something completely different. But so far, Mana has opened up with a 17 Forge, going over for a Nexus, so he is focusing on that 2 base again. Dimaga trying to get rid of that probe, and it looks like if he splits his link correctly, he should be able to, but he is more focused on getting that pylon down, as the longer that pylon stays alive, of course, the longer the hatchery takes down.
And he does manage to take out that probe. In the meanwhile, he takes that 3rd base, and he will grab this one at the natural. So far, so good. He didn't get delayed that bad by that probe. We do have the photon cannon come down, and we also have the gateway. Now, this is kind of interesting. We're going to have the cybernetic score likely put right here. Yeah, we've got, I guess Mana's just going with almost the exact same strategy that he has gone with, creating a little hole right here for his units to get in and out of, and of course that is also the hole that he must plug to make sure that no Zerg units are making it into the main base. A pretty early extractor here from Dimaga, and the one thing that has kept him alive longer in the 2nd game was the fact that he had his Zergling speed so much faster, and I think he's almost looking at that to not only eliminate these types of threats right here, but also to be able to kill any pylons. We saw an absolutely amazing defense by Dimaga versus the Protoss player Fryer in the semifinals here on this exact map, and that is how he did it, with Zerglings and speed.
And this probe that's being chased away on the map is finally going to die here again. 2nd probe killed by Dimaga. Nice little helping hand. Zealot is there to try to help out, but was not quite fast enough. And with 2 probes eliminated, he now knows that there's no aggressive probe or pylon on the map anymore, but there is still an option for Mana to do that again. He is researching +1. He's researching the warp gate tech, and Dimaga smartly has seen it again with an Overlord. He knows what's going on from his opponent, though Dimaga is getting speed, as we can see. He's still staying in gas here, which means that he will be banking up gas, saving it inside there, and will look to get upgrades shortly. But we do have a 3rd probe making its way out here, and it is spotted again by a Zergling controlling the Xel'Naga tower, and immediately chases it down.
And this is going to be so key, and he has to be continuously killing these probes. He cannot let those forward pylons get down. Here we have the Zealot once again coming to try to help, and this is the exact location where that pylon went down by Fryer in order to try to eliminate that. He's going to have to cancel this pylon, or will the Zergling come and be able to help it? He might just need to go for it, and he should get it. No, he kills the one Zergling. He pulls it away, another Zergling coming, and I think he's going to be able to get this pylon up, but it will be hurt.
Uh-oh, if that pylon goes down in a few seconds' time, in roughly 20 seconds' time, Zealots will come from that pylon. Dimaga is getting ready to defend it, but it does successfully land here. The gateways are ready. Warp gate is almost done. Oh my god, it's still a few seconds away. It's mistimed a little bit here by Mana, who put the pylon down a little bit too early, and that leaves Dimaga time to respond. Zergling speed is out. He surrounds the first Zealot, will hunt down that pylon. Dimaga needs to stop that pylon, and he will prevent it from going down.
And that's going to severely supply block Mana here. He has to throw down another pylon in addition to the 2 that he already had. And we do have still a probe hiding up here in the smoke.
Probe.
Yes. And
oh
my gosh, the Ling ran right by it.
And if it's in the smoke, usually when you're on attack move, which the Ling is just looking around, it won't actually attack it, as it doesn't, or it actually has to run right past it, and it did not quite get that.
But, Apollo, we do have the double Evo chambers. We do have +1/+1 coming out. Lair has begun, and the Baneling Nest has been put down. This is about where Dimaga wants to be, so that early aggression has certainly ceased. We also have Dimaga with 4 Lings over here, just in case a probe comes down, tries to make another base, but look at more Zealots on their way out. Here comes the Sentries and the Stalker to clear it out. Now, is it a feint? Is he gonna put down a 3rd base? I think that at this point, since his aggression was stopped, he will do it, but Dimaga doesn't know for sure. We don't know for sure until that Nexus actually does go down. And Zergling comes in to try to pick away, and there he does put it down. Now, he still has the option of canceling it, but I feel like after that shutdown aggression, he might just choose to go that way.
Yeah, I think he's going to keep it, to be honest. I mean, he's only at 6 gateways. It's not that much to power through, but he is about to walk out with his army. Look at that smartly, though, on the 3rd Nexus. Dimaga has a Ling, and the Ling on the 3rd Nexus gets the cancellation, and it is cancelled. Dimaga knows exactly what he's playing against, and now only needs to make units. He needs to make units. He needs to prepare himself for another 2-base attack. He has Banelings. They do not have speed. He has no option to load them into Overlords either. Does not have any upgrades, and he's going to have to just work around with surrounds. He has to flank. He has to come around from every single angle.
Oh my gosh, the Zergling in vision doesn't see the pylon that's standing right next to him. And we do have a Zergling counterattack going out, but that could be a big mistake. He's going to need all of the Zerglings and Banelings he can get. He does have some additional Spine Crawlers, but look at the force of the attack is coming in through the naturals. There is quite a few of Banelings and Zerglings here, and he could get a big surround. He's taking out some pylons coming in from the back. Some more Immortals and a Warp Prism are coming in, and that Warp Prism can help, but it's all going to come down to the force field. Some Banelings get through. They do detonate on top of the Sentries. All of the force fields are enough, but here comes the reinforcements from the back.
Oh, Dimaga absolutely nails the engagement. And Mana is thrown off the ship here, and all of a sudden, he's gone from hero to 0 as that attack did not work. And we've talked about how dangerous this style of Dimaga is. You mess up on your force fields, you don't keep the Zerglings and Banelings away, you will lose absolutely everything. And here comes the hero Warp Prism again. 2 Immortals are in, but Dimaga sees it, and he has units ready to deal with this too.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Those are expensive units, take a long time to build. He does not want to lose those. Those Lings know exactly what is going on. And now he can use this Warp Prism Micro, pick up these units as they are about to die. He's not doing it quite yet, and there he does. He picks them up. Notice that we do have +2/+2 for these Zerglings coming out. We also have the Ventral Sacs being researched, and that, of course, will allow him to pick up these units inside the Overlords and then drop them on top of the enemy forces. Now we do have this pylon still up here. That Ling, unfortunately, not doing his job, not taking that out. But we do have, again, the Immortals falling down. Oh, don't use those Banelings.
Yeah.
Oh, expensive mistake.
Yeah, that's actually more, not really of a mistake, but more Mana Brilliance, actually dropping on top of the Banelings, forcing them to explode there. But the 3rd base now is trying to go up. Mana, though, is so far behind in terms of the lead, because he has tried an aggressive all-in. It did not work. He lost a lot in terms of resources for not much gain whatsoever. And now that 3rd base is going down. He has a lot of units to defend it. Does get those units just in the nick of time as the shields run out, but Dimaga is about to set up for the ugliest fight, the ugliest engagement we are going to see this evening, because he has Ventral Sacs, he has Overlord speed, he is building units, and he could drop absolutely everything towards this 3rd base.
Yes, and that's exactly what he's going to plan to do with 17 drones on the way and an infestation pit. This is the moment where he's going to bank up on a lot of minerals, a lot of gas. He'll get several Banelings, but then while he is getting even more gas, he will then get a ton of infestors. And here we are going to have an assault here on this 4th base. We will need to see some sort of action here from Dimaga. Will he go immediately after the Immortals? He does, but these Zealots are sitting at 1-1. The Banelings come in, do big detonations, and still he keeps those Immortals alive. Going to get another warp in right here, and nothing there to kill that warp prism. Drones even coming out to help in this situation, and this will be a good attack. Will he get the hatchery? Yes, he does, and the Banelings detonate once again, but the Immortals amazingly stay alive, and guess what? Warp prism number 2 now coming into play.
And now Zealots will be warped into the main base to hurt the economy of mana here too. He's killed the 4th base. Can he do more damage inside the main? Zealots actually get caught and surrounded a little bit. They do finally turn around and attack, but what I fear for mana, he's investing a lot. But what happens if Dimaga turns around and says, hey, screw you, I'm about to blow your 3rd base up? And he may actually do that right now. He has so many units, so many overlords heading right towards that 3rd base, and mana has to start to wall off, has to start to spread out.
Here come the overlords as they make their way over. Their intention is to pick up these Banelings right there so he can do the Baneling rain, and here they're gonna load up into these overlords. He'll use the Lings as a ground attack as well. Now, how do you nullify force fields? Well, there's a couple ways. Large, massive units in this game can do it. A certain set of them can, but in the other case, you just fly right over them and drop them on your opponent's head, and that's what's about to happen. He blinks back. He's going for all these stalkers. He kills most of the sentries, but there are still several left. The Banelings going in. There's some more force fields going down, but we do see some units going through.
And in the main base right now, Dimaga's exploded onto the mineral line, cutting that up. Even though Mana had a really good defense there, he's lost a lot of his economy. If you look at the units lost tab, he's lost 20 probes due to that, and even more go down.
Unbelievable engagements coming out here. The Lings now cleaning up what they can, but we do take a look, and we see 42 probes have been killed.
And right now, Dimaga's sitting happy on 78 drones spread across 5 bases compared to 23 probes on a miserable 3. And that attack was absolutely worth it. And look at the production tab. Upgrades left and right. Great Aspire on its way. Zerglings as well. And Dimaga is playing the comeback Zerg race. He is playing the comeback game here and does not want to just fall down 0-3 versus Mana.
And this is exactly where he needs to be, getting these upgrades. It not only helps out the Zergling attack, but it also makes those Banelings that much more deadly. Now, the 4th base is not quite yet saturated. No drones up there, but he's also got this base going as well. And this is going to be a very tough location for the Protoss player to attack into. Right now, the supply, though, 184 to 86. Mana got to be asking himself, what in the hell do I do now?
And, well, he's definitely in trouble, that's for sure. He does have Storm, though. Storm, or did it get blown up, actually? Let me have a quick look. No, he does have Storm available to use. So Psionic Storm is absolutely going to be great against the composition right now. And I'm talking right now before the Broodlords, before the Corruptors come out. Because once that Great Aspire completes and the Hive Tech units, the powerful units of Zerg come out, there is almost absolutely nothing that Mana can do to actually hold on against it. And looking through Mana's vision, he does not know about the Hive being constructed, but I'm sure he has the game sense to tell that it must be.
Well, the Infestors are out as well, and these can, of course, lock down the units with fungal growth, and we also have several more Banelings morphed in and carried up. We now have, this could be a Storm drop, but there's not really anything there in terms, and Double Queen's gonna be able to take this out. There are no drones there. He's gotta go to the other side. He cannot lose those Templar. Will the Queen from the natural get it? And it does! Oh my gosh, but he still gets the Storm off. One of the High Templar did go down, but you do need multiple Storms in order to do that, so I do believe he did get quite a few there. He actually did make that pay off for him.
Yeah, it seems like he did send one up there as we do see it leaving. Did get a few drones at the top left at the very same time that the one happened on the south side. And he has put down Dimaga to 65 drones, but even though he has killed some, that really doesn't matter that much. Dimaga doesn't really care. He has a great army and is now marching across the map. He has Broodlords, he has Banelings in the sky, he has Infestors, he has Banelings on the ground, and right now, Mana is very, very hard pressed to hold this. He has a lot of Archons, which is going to be great, but the Archons don't care for Broodlords.
Oh, the Fungals go down, the Broodlords already reigning, and here come the Banelings dropping down on everything, and you see that army completely decimated. In come the Lynx, and Dimaga should be able to take this game. He can march this army, and GG! Dimaga keeps himself alive.
DJ Wheat. He is not done here.
He is not. He's looking good. He stays alive. It is now 1-2 in favor of Mana. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, can Dimaga tie it up? Will Mana be able to win it in 3? We'll also talk to Caldor and In Control. Don't go away. The DreamHack ISO Open continues after this.